Welcome back, everybody, to Donkey Kong 64. As you can see, we're up to 13 hours and 51 minutes on our file, and the percent completion is at 97%, so we're getting pretty close here. So, last time we finished up Creepy Castle, the last proper world of the game, and got boss key number 7, and now, with boss keys 6 and 7 in tow, if you remember last time, K-Lumsy jumped for joy and tried to open this up, but it closed back up when we unlocked lock number 6. But with both 6 and 7 unlocked, we were able to keep that open and go into that place. We're gonna need Tiny Kong for this. Let's take Banana Point 1 again. Probably should have just tagged Tiny in and then brought Tiny into that cutscene, but what can you do, really? So if you'll remember from earlier, there was a monkey port pad back here. And that is what is going to lead you to the little head of this watercraft, what have you. We have this lobby here that has a banana port pad for some reason. So there's a couple of things to do in here. First, we're gonna get Chunky. Chunky's gonna use this Gorilla Gon pad here. Make all these vines appear. That's both how we're gonna get to the next level and how we're gonna get to this bonus barrel over here, which you can kind of barely see in the little cutscene where the vines came down. So we're going to do a little bit of Kremling Kosh here. This is the hardest version of Kremling Kosh. The Kremlings, the critters, I guess, don't stay out of the barrel for very long. At least I don't think so. It might just be weird perception by me. And perhaps most tellingly, you have to get 28 points in 60 seconds. Most out of all. So, once again, I try not to focus on getting red Kremlings, because essentially once you see red Kremlings, it's already too late to try and shoot them. Unless you do some crazy pause buffer strat or something, but that's kind of unnecessary here, unlike in Crazy Kong Clamor, like the later stages of Crazy Kong Clamor. Okay, we're up to 199 golden bananas. And we're going to get DK out here, who's going to be the one that will get us to 200 golden bananas. We're going to use our sniper mode here and shoot this coconut switch. I have to remember to adjust slowly in sniper mode by holding down Z. So over here is Donkey Kong's overworld Kasplat. And since I really don't want to deal with it with all this lava bullshit, I just use my instrumental screen nuke. So now that we have his blueprint, we're actually going to exit out of here, because there is a Snide's HQ in the DK Isles overworld. And I have not shown off the little animation for that when you turn in a blueprint there, so that's what I'm going to do now. Y'all can probably guess what it is, but I'm going to showcase it anyway. It's like halfway up this ship. Across these vines. And here's where Snides is. Remember we did the thing as Diddy Kong for a Batty Barrel Bandit bonus barrel stage thing. So we're going to turn this crank, which will make a finger thing, press a button, which will start these little rotors to push the ship onto this little target, which will kick an orange into a bucket, which will cause this hammer to hit the test of strength and to cause this boxing glove to almost punch you. So yes, it is a combination of all of the possible little gadgets there. And there we go, we have 200 golden bananas, and we have turned in all 40 blueprints. These blueprints are complete. Big old check mark there. And now that we have all 40 blueprints, you can hit C up in Snide's HQ, and you can play bonus stages anytime you like. I'm not going to show any of these off, but these are basically just the hardest versions of those bonus stages, and you can play them whenever you want. And that's that, really. So, with all 40 blueprints and all 200 golden bananas in tow, or at least we think all 200 bananas in tow, I'm gonna go back to the monkey port pad to get back up to this place. It's like the only way to get up here, so... Now we're going to use that Gorilla Gun again, because that's the only way to make those vines appear, is to have Chunky use the Gorilla Gun pad. You notice that this plays out again. Now we swing along all the way to the final B locker of the game. You need 100 golden bananas to get into this final area, I guess. And there was that other Banana Port 1 pad. Look at King K. Rool just taking a snooze. Little does he know that trouble is a-brewin'. He's like, whoa, wait, shit! So, the Kongs are infiltrating. And K. Rool's all like, you gotta fire that Blastomatic, and the Kremlings are like, we haven't tested it yet, what the fuck? But Snide is gonna be a cool guy. And essentially, the blueprints we've collected throughout the game have allowed him to block the firing sequence of the Blastomatic. So essentially, this place here, you're given a time limit to complete a certain portion of the stage. More on that later. It starts at 10 minutes, but 1 minute is added for each blueprint, for a total of 40 additional minutes. 50 total. So here we are in Hideout Helm, and we're going to be using some of our Kongs to get to the area where we can find ye old Blastomatic that we've been seeing the whole game. Now I'm trying to find what I am supposed to do in this room. And just get hit by claptrap teeth. We get rid of this guy, and we see that there's a pineapple switch. So we need to get Chunky Kong out here in order to hit the pineapple switch. That'll open up the next little area of Hideout Helm. Hideout Helm does not have all the collectibles you would come to expect from from any of the other worlds in the game. Even though this is technically World 8, that's why I said Creepy Castle was the last proper world of the game. So we're gonna get Tiny out. Get rid of these enemies, because otherwise they're just gonna annoy me. And we have a mini monkey barrel. And now notice you will have infinite crystal coconuts for this area. That's because some of the stuff that you need to do to deactivate the Blastomatic is use moves and such that use up crystal coconuts. So they just give you infinite crystal coconuts for this area. And, well, I guess there's one little detail on that infinite crystal coconut fate. But, we'll get to it when we get to it. So we have a little lever. We can gorilla grab as Donkey Kong. And we'll have mid-air little star targets that we're going to need Diddy Kong's rocket barrel to fly through. And that's always my favorite, controlling the goddamn rocket barrel. Fortunately, they do give you 60 seconds to switch to Diddy Kong and fly through all this garbage. Which is a good thing, because, well, I have lots of trouble controlling this thing. Because, like, even this far into the video game, I have troubles controlling this, because you get up against a wall, and then you try to fly in a direction, but then the camera will just completely fuck up, and your controls don't reset for it. And it's annoying. But flying through all the rings, all the stars, or I guess, causes all 5 of those doors to open, and you'll notice on 4 of them, there are gigantic gates that we need to use Chunky Kong to use the Primate Punch on. The 5th one it doesn't have that because it's very high up and is only reachable via Diddy Kong's rocket barrel, and that's the one you do last. So we're just gonna use the Primate Punch to get rid of all these gates. And once we do so, we will get to, I suppose, the main crux of Hideout Helm. And you're noticing that this timer at the bottom of the screen that uses real time. It even tracks real time through loading transitions. So, yeah, it's 50 real-time minutes. But fortunately, because we got all the blueprints, we actually have way too much time to do all our stuff. So essentially, we need... what's going to happen is there's going to be a music pad in front of these little areas. And inside these little areas, there's 2 barrels that have little mini-games to play. Hey, Donkey, jump into the blast barrel and hit 3 targets. And as you can see by my crossfade, this took me a few tries. Y'all can tell where I've edited if you just look at the time remaining on the bottom of the screen. If it advances more than 1 second at a time, you know I've edited something. And I've had to do that for a fair number of these, because I had an unreasonable amount of trouble with some of them. But essentially, there's there's two little barrels here. The second one is for Ramby. Wow, it's Ramby! Bash some Kremlings, but watch out for the power pylons. Otherwise, you might have to construct an additional amount of them. So, we're just using Ramby to take down some Kremlings without hitting the electrical things. You have to hit 18 of them in 30 seconds, which is pretty simple once you get past the point of not directly ramming into the pylons. So once you clear both barrels in a room, the corresponding light will go out, and that will shut off some power to the Blast-O-Matic and make the next music pad appear. That's also how you get your banana medals in the stage. And one of the odd things about this game, one of the glitches, is if you complete Hideout Helm, as in you deactivate the Blast-O-Matic and do all that other bullshit, and leave the stage without picking up the banana medals, you cannot re-get them. They become missable. So, there is that. But, without extensive use of glitches, you do have to do all of these, little, barrel stages, things, whatever. As Chunky, we have this little bonus area, this little stage, where we have to find the Kremling that's hiding in one of these boxes. And I think it's always random which box he's in. Or perhaps it's just the third box you primate punch, because that's what happened on all the occasions in which I played that particular stage. Come on, Chunky, stand on the podium and use the sniper to shoot the baddies. And I got super distracted by real-life stuff, and thus, I kind of, lost my touch with the sniper mode and had to get back into the game, hence the edit. You just gotta shoot down 5 of these guys with the sniper mode active. That's it. Most of these little mini games are very, very simple stuff. So that's Chunky's room of this little place completed. Next, we're gonna move on to Tiny, because there was a saxophone thing there. You'll notice they all go in order if you rotate the Kongs in the tag barrel a specific way. You rotate them counter. No, that's not counter. That's clockwise. I always get the directions mixed up because left and right in the tag barrel don't exactly do what you expect them to do at first. So that's one of the things that I had to get used to. But it kind of becomes second nature after a while. So now, both of Tiny's little challenges here have extensive use of, like, the best move in the game, which is great. And the best move in the game, of course, is the ponytail twirl. So all we have to do here is land on the switch. There are other switches in these little mini games later, which you have to ground pound. So just keep that in mind. And that guy was just kind of in the way of the barrel disappearing. So we're going to use the mushrooms to leap through the stars. So we just got to jump on the mushroom and ponytail twirl our way through the star. And that's all you got to do. But sometimes depth perception can be a harsh mistress indeed. There are 4 stars here, but you only need to go through 3 of them for some reason. I don't know. They could have made you go through all 4, but what can you do, really? That's Tiny done, which means we're gonna move on to Lanky Kong after we pick up the banana medal here for Tiny here on Hideout Helm. And once we clear Lanky, we move on to Diddy, and once we clear Diddy, the Blastomatic is deactivated. So, and that's only going to take a few more minutes, so as you see, 50 minutes is way too much time. If you just want to get through the game, you really only have to collect, I'd say, 10 or 15 blueprints throughout the game. 20 to 25 minutes should be plenty of time for you to get through at least this part of Hideout Helm. There's a little bit after you deactivate the Blastomatic. More on this later. So in this barrel for Lanky, we have a little maze type thing with an orangutan sprint barrel. So we have to find the switch that is hidden in the maze and then head for the exit. So here's me checking all around the maze like a good person and avoiding the Kasha, because Kashas are evil. And I imperceptibly hit the switch. I'm like, I think I hit it, and I'm just gonna go for the goal, which is right over here.
Well done!
And fortunately, my perception was correct. Now for the other one is Lanky. The other one is another shoot down enemies thing. Blast the zingers is all it says. Now, it would be nice if you could just screen nuke zingers with your instrument, but they made sure to have that option disabled to you for this particular minigame thing. Just had to go into my sniper mode to get that last one. And there are more than 3 zingers in that particular room. So you don't necessarily have to go for the 3 I went for. And now we have the last one, Diddy Kong, which, as I mentioned earlier, does not have a gate that you need to primate punch to bust through, because it's already a Diddy Kong only zone, as you will soon discover. Get Diddy Kong out, and he will be the last link in taking down this Blastomatic. Deactivating it, if you will. But first we have to find it. It's gonna be kind of troublesome, because it's not at the very tippy top of the room. That might confuse you at first. But once you find it, just play your little guitar on the guitar pad, and you are now 2 minigame barrels away from completely shutting down this Blastomatic. Let's see what the first one is for Diddy Kong here. Bash the Kremling that activated the switch, then press it. So, hitting one of these Kremlings will make a little tone play, and once it plays, you can just get back to the middle of the thing and ground pound the switch. You have to ground pound the switch. It's not a step on the switch kind of situation. And now the last one. Take to the air to shoot 4 switches to get a surprise. So another rocket barrel thing, but this is kind of easy. All you have to do is find the right level to have your rocket barrel on, and just kind of shoot the 4 switches, like kind of, just do quick turning. Just kind of find the height that you need, hold the Z button down, turn and shoot all the switches, and once that's done, ground pound this thing and you're done. Very simple. I like simple stuff with the rocket barrel. And the timer goes away with 31 minutes and 24 seconds to spare. We have completely deactivated the blast-o-matic. There is no power to it. And now we open up a little thing. So we have all the banana medals here in the Hideout Helm. What I'm going to do is completely blind jump into the tag barrel. I did not mean to do that. Is take Diddy Kong all the way to the tippy top, where there is a battle arena pad right on all the way at the top. Now, if you go into this battle arena and you haven't deactivated the blast-o-matic yet, the timer at the bottom will still go. That's just a little thing I thought I should point out. This is Shockwave Showdown. This is the longest battle arena in the game at 90 seconds that you have to survive. And essentially, just go with what the name says, just attack with shockwaves. Note that in the battle arena for this, even though you have infinite crystal coconuts in the world itself, you do not have infinite crystal coconuts for the battle arena. So keep that in mind when you're using your shockwaves, and really you just have to be careful to not stupidly fall off the battle arena, which I've done several times in doing battle arenas. Not this particular one, but others earlier in the game. And eventually, if two Kasplats was not fun enough for you, with about 15 seconds to go, they introduce a third one that you have to deal with. But if you've got your shockwave rhythm going, it's really not going to be too much of an issue. In fact, we could just do our little backflip here and be done with it. That's the last battle crown of the game. It's the last battle arena we have to do, and I am quite thankful for that. So now we gotta find that K. Rool door, which was like up a staircase here. And this is like the weirdest staircase because you try to jump up the steps, and it kind of there's kind of some weird collision detection going on. I don't know. I just find it awkward. Perhaps I'm just bad at the video game. That's possible. It's always possible. So, that banana port pad is there, in case you get through all that bullshit, but can't go through that battle crown door, because you need at least 4 battle crowns to get through there. At least that's how it's set up. You can, of course, just glitch your way past it. I mean, I think the any % run is, like, in the 20s in terms of minutes, so yeah. So, with the blast-o-matic not having power, K. Rool is going to have to go to Plan B. Plan B is to try to escape from this mess. We'll see where that fate lands him very shortly. But this seems to be the throne room that K. Rool has been in the whole game. And with the Rareware coin and Nintendo coin in our possession, we have access to this room that has 2 banana fairies, and I think the particularity with these is you actually have to capture both of them at the same time, but don't quote me on that. Just in the 2 times I've played this, it's always been I had to capture them both at the same time. And that we have gotten all the banana fairies that are in the game. And this is also the 8th and final boss key. We'll be seeing the implications of both of those things in just a moment, because we're completely done with Hideout Helm. That's it for Hideout Helm. Very, very short world, at least in comparison to everything else in the game, because it doesn't have all of the collectibles that are in other worlds. So we're gonna tag Tiny Kong here. And we're just gonna find a convenient spot to just sort of fall down. Ouch. Oh, this is quite convenient because Banana Port 4 is right here. And now we can take Banana Port 5. Be back on Banana Ferry Island. And when we got all of the Banana Fairies, Banana Fairy Queen, I guess, told us to come back and see her. So we're gonna do just that. You did it! You rescued all the Banana Fairies and have restored peace to Banana Fairy Kingdom. Or Banana Fairy Island, whatever. Whatever, video game. And the secret seems to be a banana of some sort, but it ain't no ordinary banana. All of the other bananas in the game, all the other golden bananas in the game, had a Nintendo logo on them. This golden banana not only is ginormous, but it has a Rareware symbol on it. And yes, Tiny Kong does in fact have 6 golden bananas here in DK Isles. So that is the extra banana in 201 golden bananas, rescuing all 20 of the banana fairies. So, I think we'll just take Banana Port 1 and free Kalumzi, which we can do now that we have the 8th boss key. Turn the key. And the cage gets lifted, and Kalumzi is so joyful, so joyous. Meanwhile, in K. Rool's hideout, King K. Rool is planning his escape. His plan B. His plan B of get the fuck out of here. And now he's all like, well, see ya. But one gigantic player that K. Rool did not account for is going to turn the tide in his own unique way, really. There is the ship, and to Kalumzi's size, is like it's like some kind of fly or something, or maybe it's a toy. But now there's a boulder here. He's gonna catch his foot on the boulder, and he's going to trip, and his hand whacks this little escape ship, and he crashes on the DK Isles. And whatever of this. And we're gonna take a look at our totals here. See, 26 out of 25 on the DK Isles, 201 out of 200 golden bananas, and we have everything in the game. So next time, we're gonna investigate that little crash site and take care of one last little thing that is quite iconic with this game. So we'll see you then.